Extreme pressure from outside sources can make people do extraordinary things, both good and bad. Have you ever seen a video where there's a field on fire only to click on it and find out that it was a controlled burn and the farmer or rancher was the one that actually set the blaze? There's so many people out there claiming that burning a pasture every year is what you have to do in order to have a healthy ranch. Springtime rolls around and you see a nice green lush pasture after a fall burn. Seems like that's the way you should go. We're going to be looking at 3 reasons why these practices might be doing more harm than good. Now, full disclosure, burning a pasture in some cases can be a good thing. But in this video, we're just going to address the annual aggressive burning, not the once in a while type of burn. That is another video. This time of year in southeast Kansas, it seems like the whole world is on fire sometimes. On any particular fall night, you can usually look out across the prairie and see a fire that has been set by a farmer or rancher that is a controlled burn. Sometimes those fires get so thick that the valleys look like they're full of fog and you can smell smoke in the air everywhere. When we moved down here just 6 years ago, there seemed to be one question that every rancher asked me. And that question was, when are you burning your pasture next? And I've got to admit that I thought I was going to join the pyro crowd also. I thought I was going to look out across my field and see it lit up by that firelight glow. When I asked those same people why I needed to burn the pasture, the ranges were really broad. It went all the way from, well, it will make your grass grow back greener, to, it will kill all the weeds, or my all-time favorite, I don't know, we've just always done it this way. I think that's what we call full. Now, the general consensus seems to be that if you burn a pasture like this in the fall, you'll get a nice kickstart in the spring from all that nitrogen that's been released. And from what I can tell, they're not wrong. The problem that I discovered was that by looking at the one benefit, you overlook all the drawbacks. You see, there's one thing that every farmer or rancher should not want to see on their ground, and that is bare soil. This, I swear, was not intentional. This is a result of a really dumb decision to have a campfire in the middle of the field, and you think you can control it when you're in a drought. But it shows a really good analogy of what the soil looks like after a controlled burn. And what blows my mind is this practice intentionally makes this happen annually. The bees have mostly gone into hibernation for the year. Bare soil is the detriment to countless ranches. It can be caused by multiple things: diseases, poor management, drought. The first reason why it's so bad is erosion. When you have rain coming down from the sky and it hits that soil, when there's nothing to stop it, it wants to just pummel that ground and erode it out. When you have grass on the top surface, it acts as countless baffles. That rain hits that baffle, it dissipates the energy, and then it comes down to a slow trickle. Not only that, but the roots act as a glue or a binder to that soil. So you combine the grass slowing down all that force of the water and the glue or binder of the roots. It acts as a really good way of keeping all that dirt in the place where it needs to be. The second reason why it can be so harmful relates back to the first, that bare soil. Do you remember in science class where they had a light bulb and they had two sheets of paper? They would have a white normal sheet, and then they would have a craft black piece. When they turned that light bulb on, it wasn't a hot light bulb at all. And you would put your hand on that white sheet and it wasn't very warm at all. But if you put your hand on that black sheet of paper, it was considerably hotter than the white sheet. Well, that's because most all of us know now that the black color absorbs all that light energy and it turns it into heat. Well, soil is no different than that. When you have the top surface of the ground that is either brown in the winter or green in the summer, that is a lot lighter color than dark brown or black topsoil. They actually did studies on this, and on a really hot summer day, when you have a thick layer of grass, that soil temperature is somewhere around 60 to 70 degrees. But if you have a bare ground on the exact same summer day and you were to stick the same probe on bare soil, that soil temperature, believe it or not, can get up to 130, 140 degrees. Now imagine what plant can survive those temperatures. Not much out in my field except for cactuses. The third reason why it's so harmful is we can look at trees to help us out with this answer. Have you ever heard that when looking at a tree in the field, you can imagine the root structure mimics all those branches on top? Well, it's not too much different with most other plant life. The roots and the top of the plant often mimic each other. And when you cut the top of the plant really short, the roots want to contract to be able to mimic what's on top. By cutting the grass short or allowing animals to graze too close to the ground, or in this case, burning the grass all the way down to the topsoil, this will cause that root structure to contract. And when those roots contract, they can't reach down to that water table that they once had. And now that the roots have contracted, next year's leaf growth won't be as big. Just like what we've learned from trees, they mimic each other. There are other reasons why this can be a harmful practice if you do this regularly for your ranch. One being burning all the feed that you have out in your field that you could have fed to your animals. Unfortunately, we only have time for these three today. I guess the moral of today's story is always question. Always question tradition to find out if it is serving correctly. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. My name is Noah Gordon. This is Broken Arrow Bison, and we'll see you next time.